Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with the 2026 NASCAR preview, and I got the perfect man for the job to help me out here. The man from the land down under. F First Thoughts. Yeah, he was an F1 fan first, so he picked that handle.
Yeah, it's not very descriptive of everything I cover now, but thank you very much, Dylan. Thanks for the introduction, and of course, looking very much forward to having a look at the upcoming season with you.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting when we get through the drivers and then we talk about the chase because you didn't become a fan of NASCAR until 2020.
Yeah, probably started getting into it probably 2021 again, but I really started watching races in 2022. So I've only known the playoff format basically. So it'll be interesting to see how we view it. You having seen it before and me not having.
I yeah, I grew up on a format similar to this, but we'll give our thoughts on when that time comes because we got 36 charters to go through. So,
Just a couple. Just a couple.
yeah, some will be quick. Some may take a little bit of time, but anyway, we're starting in numerical order. So we got Trackhouse's number one, Ross Chastain. Um, all the sponsors still going to be the same, although we do have a new crew chief in Brandon McSwain. Not sure how
Yep.
much that is going to change things for Trackhouse, but in my opinion on Trackhouse, I think there was a little bit of growing pains. They did go from two full time teams to three, so resources do get spread out, especially in that first year, and that's where you kind of saw a little bit of a decline there. But you've all like
Yeah.
Trackhouse has been ever since the Hail Mary or the Hail Melon at Martinsville. Trackhouse just hasn't been able to get back to that level of winning. But
Yeah.
we could see an actual change in the change in that here with the new crew chief. But what are you thinking on Ross Chastain?
Yeah, I think last year was a bit of a down year for him in comparison to his just the overall speed I think he had in comparison to 2024. I thought his 24 season was better, so it was a bit disappointing to see him kind of trend downwards, I think, last year overall. So crew chief change, I think, should hopefully set them in the right direction. I think they just probably needed to do something different. As you said, the three cars probably also played a major role in that. But I mean, it'll be good to get another change in driver as well alongside. So hopefully they'll be able to bounce back. Ross specifically, I mean, you're right. Ever
Yeah,
since that Hail Melon in Martinsville, I don't think they've really had the same. Once you make it to the championship four, I mean, it's hard to make it back. So it's all been a bit, below expectations, I'd probably say. But yeah, look, I've got faith in him. I think he's a great driver. I think he's a cool dude. So I've got expectations that he'll definitely be making, top 16. And I'd expect him to finish top 10, I think, in points this year. Well, that would be their expectation going in.
yeah, I definitely think he definitely has the talent to make it to the chase, the brand new shiny new format, which I'm really excited for that conversation. But yeah,
Yeah, me too.
and I think I think having somebody like Connor Zilic come in, who has pretty much raced everything, anything and everything under the sun, and has raced everything and anything very very well. They finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and his team finished second in the
Second?
24 the
Yeah,
24
great
hour.
effort as well.
Yeah, he is
Great effort.
he is the next rock star, and I think being able to compare notes with somebody like him is going to help the team tremendously. But we'll talk more about Zilich when we get
Yep.
there. But yeah, Ross Chastain, talented
Yeah.
driver in his own right. Definitely expect him to be making the chase.
100%. 100%. It's bare minimum, I think.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
Then we got the well, used to be back in the good old days, the Blue Deuce that isn't very blue anymore. With Austin Cindric,
No.
Brian Wilson returns as the crew chief. He Austin Cindric did improve from again last year. Ran a lot more consistent. I would expect that improvement to continue. And for a lot of the season, he was the most consistent of the Penske guys. And I do expect him to be winning 1 to 2 races throughout the regular season. Maybe he steals another in the chase, but I I I, I think Cindric is on the right track and improving. So, uh, what say you?
Yeah. Yeah. Cindric's an interesting one because I think he's shown some potential, throughout his how many years? 5 years at Penske now that it's been. Um, and I think he's shown that year on year. But for me, he's just been he's lacked the highs that Logano and Blaney have had. Well, obviously, given both of them have won a championship since the next gen came out, and Austin hasn't. But I'd expect him again, definitely chase contender. You'd be hoping he could win. I'd set my expectations lower at just one race. He's only won what 3 in the past 5 years. I think he won one last year. Was it Talladega he won last year?
Atlanta, I believe.
Atlanta. It was definitely a super speedway race, but so I'd be hoping he can push through and get one maybe 2 race wins, make the chase. But yeah, my personal expectations for him are a bit lower than the other 2 champions at Penske.
Yeah, and that reminds me, if you want to turn this show into a drinking game, every time that me or at first thoughts correct ourselves from playoff to chase, take a drink.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to get used to. Tough one to get used to. Did I say playoff?
Yeah, I think you were about to, and then you caught yourself. But
Again, maybe I'll have to keep drinking as well.
you,
Just water though. Just water for the moment for me.
yeah, yeah, isn't it pretty early down in the laying down under?
It's pretty late actually.
Oh,
So what? 6:30 p.m. now for me. It's a
nice.
bit later in the day, but very hot down under at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. The rest of America is very jealous,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I actually got a pretty good story when we get done with this to talk about. But
Yeah, no.
anyway, so moving on to the number 3, the old number 3, Richard Childress Racing. Austin Dillon's back. Got the same crew chief. Everything pretty much stays the same, despite having a really down year for both the RCR cars. Kyle Busch
Mm.
left out of victory lane for I think the second year in a row,
Yeah, second year.
and Austin Dillon he was able to win the night race at Richmond again, getting the redemption that he so rightfully deserves. Uh, he should have never had his playoff
Mm.
spot taken away a couple years ago there, but I really hope we see a lot more consistency out of the 3 and out of the 8. And I we'll see if they we'll see if they end up doing that. Maybe Austin or
Yeah.
Kyle can steal a victory at a plate track, but I I can't have very high expectations just because their equipment's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah. Focusing on the 3 teams specifically, I think your expectations are always going to be lower than what they are for Kyle. But saying that, I mean, you look at the results the past 2 years, and Austin's the only one to have won a race both years, both at Richmond. So expectations, I think, are probably for internally would be for them to make the playoffs, make the chase. There we go. There's another drink. Make the chase, and then probably win a race. I think would be the expectations for them. Can he do it? I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see, given not much has changed on that side of the garage at RCR.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Um, hopefully, like I said, hopefully they get the they get the upgrades that they need. The new Chevy body helps them out a little bit, but
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Wait and see. Wait and see.
And then we have Noah Gregson back in the number 4 front row. Um,
Mm.
they got a new sponsor in Grillo Pickles. Not sure what that is, but and then a new crew chief.
I've got no idea. I've got no idea what Grillo Pickles is. But yeah, what are your expectations for him, Dill?
Uh, complete all the laps. Just keep the car out of
Complete
trouble.
all the laps.
Keep the
Yeah.
nose clean. That's
Yeah, I think.
about all I can give.
Well, in all honesty, I think there's what he finished 34th, I think, last year in the standings. So I think you can basically really only go up from that point. um,
Yeah,
yeah, you could go down, highly unlikely. So yeah, I think he'd just be aiming to just consistently, improve each week. And as you said, just keep the car out of trouble. Finishing is the most important.
yeah. Then we got the reigning defending champion, Kyle Larson. Obviously, everything stays the same. I would absolutely expect him to be in the running for the championship. The first legitimate championship contender that we're gonna be talking about, unless you got
Yeah.
really high hopes in Ross Chastain or Austin Cindric. But
Nah, not
eh,
quite there. I think favored those two.
but Larson, I mean, I would expect him to be right there at the very end. He's good everywhere except plate tracks, and yeah, so
Yeah. Expectations very similar for me. I would probably put him down as the quickest driver in NASCAR at the moment. I think if you gave everyone, the same equipment, I think he'd probably be the most likely to get the most speed out of the car. So for me, it's just going to be, can he put together a full season? Which I think he definitely has it in him. So I'm excited to see what he can do with the new format.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely gonna be different than what he's dealt with in the past, but I do think it's gonna hinder him a little bit because he's not quite as consistent as some of his other
Yeah.
HMS teammates. But we'll talk about them when we get there.
Yeah.
Then we got the 2012 champion, Brad Keselowski. Everything stays the same. Bullins is still the crew chief. Um, I, they have they RFK had a down year last year. They weren't able to find victory lane. Um, I I think I'm going to contribute that to just the fact that they went from a 2-car to a 3-car operation. Again, resources kind of get spread out a little bit. You're chartering new waters, and it was just kind of a little bit of a mess that you got to kind of catch up on, and it usually takes about a year to catch up on. So I
Yeah.
would definitely expect to see the 6 back in victory lane, either as the driver or as the owner. We'll see how that shakes out, but yeah, I would expect to see some vast improvement from RFK.
Yeah. Same boat. I think I think Brad will definitely be in victory lane, as you said, one way or another in terms of as a team owner. Whether he will get there himself, I mean, his last win was Darlington in 24, and he wasn't the quickest RFK car that day uh, either. So a Busher was a bit quicker from memory. So we'll
Y-
see. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'd expect him to at least get a win,
yeah.
but he just hasn't been.
Busher and Reddick, I think, got into it and pretty much opened the door for Keselowski.
Yeah, to come through and take it. So it'll be interesting to see if on the days where RFK brings great equipment to the track, if he'll be the quickest car out of the three. But yeah, I mean, expect him again. I think he's a driver you just expect to make the chase, and he had a really bad start to last year, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he had a horrendous start,
He might have had,
but
yeah, it might have been a slow start, but I mean, it was
a slow start. But I think he picked up
it was
in
just
the
kind
end.
of slow all year. I mean, they
Yeah,
all had their flashes, but wasn't wasn't
yeah. we got close to winning. He got very close to winning the final race of the year, didn't he? I think he was leading into the final corner at Phoenix, and then just drove it in too deep. Anyway, getting
Oh,
distracted slightly, but yeah, I'd expect make the chase
I don't know. I
and
was seeing right
try
at
and
that
do
point. I had some pretty solid money on Hamlin winning the championship. But
yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. Anyway, everyone was focused further back, not on who was actually going to win the race. But yeah, moving on.
then we got the number 7 Spire Motorsports Chevy, driven by Daniel Suarez. Got a couple new sponsors. The crew chief is still the same. This car, uh, I think you could make a case is pretty cursed at this point. Justin
Yep.
Haley couldn't do anything with it. Corey LaJoy couldn't do anything with it. And now we got Daniel Suarez in there in what we expect to be the twilight of his career. He got kicked out of the track house a year ago, and now this is his landing spot. We'll see if Spire can put 2 or 3 cars together. I do know. I think it was it last year that they moved that third car with McDowell, or was it
Yeah, McDowell moved last year. Yeah.
okay? So yeah, I would expect Spire to be a little bit quicker. Just get the laps completed, build up that notebook, and and be that veteran leader along with Michael McDowell, and kind of help Carson Hocevar along.
Yeah. Uh yeah, if I had to rate him against the three, I'd probably put him as my lowest rated, between him, McDowell, and Hocevar. So I don't have high expectations for him. It'd be nice to see him perform well, but for me, he's someone I've got, missing the chase in the end.
And speaking of potentially missing the chase, we're on to the number 8, Richard Childress Chevy, Kyle Busch, 2-time champion, new crew chief with Jim Pullman, uh, Randall Burnett. He is out and has gone to the 88 crew with Connor Zilich. And I am very, very fearful of what the 8 is going to do, and not in the, oh, he's going to take the world by storm, more of, oh, this might get worse. This might actually get worse, because Randall Burnett, he is a great crew chief. Losing him is a devastating blow. Who knows? Maybe Jim Pullman is just what the doctor ordered for Kyle Busch, but he hasn't seen victory lane in 2.5 years at this point. And
Not since Gateway in 23.
yeah, and I think Gateway they ran pretty early in the year. That first time there.
Yeah. It was race 15 of the year. I think he had 3 race wins in the first 15 races, and then nothing.
Nothing
Nothing
since.
since that first.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I I hope I'm wrong on that. I'd like to see Kyle Busch be a lot more competitive. It's a lot more entertaining when you have the bad guy actually winning races. But
Well, yeah. It's hard to be the bad guy when you're not winning races.
yeah, it's hard to be hated when
Your
when you don't have a
expectations?
reason.
No, exactly. Your expectations for him to do you expect him to make the chase this year?
I don't think so.
Got him missing.
I think he misses.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one for me. As I'm sure I've mentioned before, I'm a Kyle Busch fan. Um, so I personally think the crew chief change was probably the right idea. Him and Randall obviously hadn't achieved the results they wanted the past years. Jim has achieved a lot of success with Justin in the Xfinity series. So I think it was the right move. The question just becomes if Kyle's still got it in him at this stage. And, the RCR equipment hasn't been amazing, but I don't think he's also been maximizing the equipment itself. When he's had the opportunities, he's made mistakes. So hopefully a reset, refresh, new Chevy body. Hopefully it allows him to drive the car a bit more loose rather than off the nose. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope my prediction is he'll make the chase this year.
Then we got a former champion, the 2020 Cup Series champion, NASCAR's most popular driver, Chase Elliott. Everything kind of stays the same. Alan Gustafson, as much as fans may absolutely despise him, he is back. I would expect he hasn't been winning as much as in years past, but he's still running just as consistent as he always has been. Maybe a little bit of a step back, but still very, very formidable. Still can win
Yep.
anywhere. But it, we got to get some multiple win seasons out of Chase, and this format it's going to reward consistency a lot more than the playoff system did. So
Yeah.
we might see could see some success on in the point standings, but I'm very cautious to say that we'll see multiple wins out of the 9 this year.
Yeah, I'd say he'll be one of the drivers that will benefit from the new format and the reset. You're right. He's been exceptionally consistent. I think he'll be personally disappointed with the fact he hasn't won as many races as I think William Byron and Larson have. His two of his teammates. I think he thinks he definitely can be up there and challenging with them, but he just hasn't. He's been exceptionally consistent, just hasn't had the raw pace of the other two. So be interesting to see. But yeah, he'll be one to benefit from this new format we've got for this year.
Yeah. Then we got Ty Dillon. He's still racing.
He's still related to Austin.
Yep. Last I checked.
Last I checked, expecting the same as last year. I think nothing else changes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Moving on.
Moving on to 3-time Daytona 500 winner, Denny Hamlin. Everything's still the same. Nothing's changed as far as crew chief, sponsors, all that. That's still the same. But when you have the season ending that the way that it did a year ago in Phoenix, top it off with the horrific tragedy with his dad passing away in the house fire.
Yeah.
That it's gonna do one of two things. It's either gonna tear him apart or he's gonna be able to galvanize around this team. So I don't see it. I don't see a happy medium where he runs identical to what he's done in years past. We're either going to see the greatest year ever out of Denny Hamlin, or we're going to see him just absolutely go on a horrific decline. And just because of everything that's gone on over the past 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, I'm completely in agreement. I don't think he's either going to improve, which, at his age is incredibly impressive. It's either going to fuel him or I think it might be the beginning of the end. Who knows which way he's going to go with it. Who knows what his mindset is. I couldn't imagine being, in the same position, losing the championship in that way, and then just the horrific personal loss he suffered as well. So I hope for NASCAR's sake and for his sake that he's able to use it to keep bettering himself, put on a great performance this year and do it for his dad. But you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. These kind of situations, it's either gonna tear him apart, or he's gonna galvanize. Him and the team are gonna galvanize around each other and rally to achieve great things.
Yeah, I think the NASCAR fan base as a whole hopes it's the first option there that everyone will be able to rally around him.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone wants to see Denny Hamlin go out like this.
Then to the number 12 Penske Ford, piloted by Ryan Blaney, the second lowest point standing champion we have had in the history of NASCAR.
He's got a great mustache and beard, though.
Oh yeah, he loves throwing it back. Everything's
he
still
loves throwing it back.
Everything's still the same as last year. So I would expect similar results. One, maybe two wins. Maybe he gets
100%.
hot at some point and rattles off a win streak.
Yeah.
But I mean, the the Penske cars just as a whole, especially with Blaney and Logano, they're so on off. It's so hard to get a gauge on them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they are. They can be hot, cold, depending on the track type. They just, yeah. Again, I think Blaney's what probably consistently got the most speed. I think, even when Penske has their down days. I feel free to disagree. Um, but yeah, expectations of Blaney are quite high for me personally. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if what Penske as an organization can do this year.
I mean, I I think he's gonna end up making the chase. That I'm
Yeah.
confident on. But whether he does anything in the chase is a completely different story. Uh, if history tells us anything, he's gonna make the chase comfortably, and then he's just gonna start dwindling off into the sunset as the teams that rise to the occasion kind of begin to really rise. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we got AJ Allmendinger and the
The
16,
dinger.
the Dinger. He
The
uh
dinger. I love the dinger.
he uh he was in the 24 hours. I don't remember where he was. I think he was in the GDP Pro, but he got a few laps in at Daytona before they go to the Roval. Uh,
Yep.
he was awfully quiet all year long.
Huh.
As
Did they get rid of the Roval? The Roval's gone for this year, right?
yeah, well, yeah. Oh, I was talking about the Daytona,
Ah, yeah, yeah. My
but
bad, my bad,
yeah,
my bad.
we'll get to the Charlotte Roval.
We'll get to that. It's okay. I'm pushing the script too quickly here.
Yeah, yeah, we got a few more cars yet, but
Just a couple.
yeah, AJ, just I don't know what to expect. He's gonna be a bubble driver, maybe. Uh, maybe he steals a win at a road course, but I I don't expect too much. He's an Xfinity driver that just an O'Reilly Auto Parts driver in the Cup
Yeah, another name
Series.
finish.
So
Yeah. For me, it just depends on if Corley can bring a good car. I think everyone knows AJ's ability. He can quick on road courses, can bring some speed to some ovals here and there, but it just all comes down to the quality of the core league equipment this year, and I don't have too much faith in them going into this year. So I'd expect him to probably miss the chase, unfortunately, this year.
yeah, I mean, ever since Colleague made the move up to the Cup Series, they've been essentially MIA in both the Cup and the Xfinity.
Yeah, downward spiral.
But
Downward spiral.
moving on to the second RFK driver, Chris Buescher, everything stays the same. Still have some big boy sponsors in Fifth Third and Kroger. Scott Graves returns as the crew chief, and I I out of Buescher, I expect a couple more wins. I do think he makes the playoffs. He might be one of the dark horses to really make some noise in the chase. Take another drink. But
Here we go.
I definitely expect Buescher to be the best driver out of the RFK stable.
Yeah, exact same. I think it will be the best. He's got the best. He's got the best history in recent years, I think. So yeah, expecting good things out of Busher. Again, very dependent on if RFK can get their equipment together. But hopefully, second year of running the three cars, they should be able to get it. And I just expect Busher to win at least a couple races, I think, this year.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
we got the Joe Gibbs Toyota of the number 19 Chase Briscoe getting that 19 car back into victory lane a number of times last year, coming up huge in the clutch on several occasions during the playoffs a year ago, and he is back. James Small, he is back. We also got a couple of new sponsors with Columbia Bank. I don't know where that bank is. Freebird Southern Spring Water. Uh, no thanks.
Must be good. Must be good spring water.
No thanks. I'll stick with Kirkland. And then Zep.
Mm.
Don't know what Zep is, but
I don't know any of these sponsors. None advertised. None advertised down here. So
don't worry. We should be getting to the Outback car pretty soon. But
fingers crossed.
yeah, Chase was absolutely a dark horse a year ago. I was expecting a year ago him just kind of feel things out. He's finally good equipment. Maybe he gets a win here or there, and bada boom, bada bang, he's in the final four.
Yeah, no.
So
Breakout season. I think he exceeded probably, well, most fans' expectations. He smashed it. Couldn't have asked for a better season, I think. Especially, getting finally into some really decent equipment. I wasn't expecting that. He gelled really well with James Small. I think back to the Pocono win. Really good effort as well from them to just work that together as a team. It looked like they'd been working together for years at that stage. So I thought it was a great season. Expecting similar things this year.
oh yeah. I mean it really shows the difference. Even though there's so many restrictions on what you can do with a car, it just shows the amount of difference in equipment can make when you have people that know what they're doing and are truly invested. It was clear and
Yeah.
obvious for the last number of years of Stuart Haas that Tony just checked out. He was done. He was over NASCAR, and especially at that stage, I absolutely don't blame him. But now Briscoe's in championship level equipment, and we now know for an absolute fact he is a championship level driver.
Yeah.
And then we got Christopher Bell in the 20 Toyota. All the same sponsors. Adam Stevens back. Absolute rock star crew chief. Absolute rock star driver. Came out hot to begin the year and then
Cooled off a bit.
it disappeared. Completely disappeared. But
Probably
yeah,
sold as understatement saying he cooled off.
a little bit.
But yeah, love Christopher Bell. Think he'll be good this year. Expect him to, finishing top 4. I think in the standings in the chase. Yeah, I think if I had to put, if I was a betting man, I'd be probably putting my money on him out of the JGR to lead, the JGR effort to win the championship this year. I'd put him finishing ahead of the other 3.
Mine's actually on the 11. I think
Yeah,
I think Hamlin's gonna be the one that breaks out from the Gibbs stable, and we'll
I
get to
would
the
enjoy seeing that.
we'll get to the long shot odds here in a bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
got Josh Berry with the Wood brothers. Everything stays the same there. Got the heartwarming victory in at Las Vegas, and then did absolutely nothing the rest of the year. So
Yeah, expectation I think is just to run well, but not great. And then I don't expect him to get a win this year. I don't know. He got the win last year and then just disappeared off the face of the earth. So who knows?
just keep the nose clean, complete the laps, see what you can do to improve, and just kind of keep trying to be around.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Exactly.
then we have the worst finishing points champion in the history of NASCAR, Joey Logano, back in the 22. Everything's the same. He's gonna have to actually be consistent for several more races than he has had to with his 3 championships. Not his fault. It's the system, and Penske played it the best of anybody. So
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
exactly, exactly. And I would absolutely expect him to be in the playoff or the chase. Take a drink. Absolutely expect him
Here
to
we
be
go
in the
again.
chase. And I wouldn't be surprised if they really make some noise. Depending on how the front half of the season goes, if I definitely think all 3 Penske cars, they're either going to be hot at the beginning, cool off at the end, or cool at the beginning and hot towards the end. I don't
Mm.
think I've just never seen them be capable enough to put a full season together since Brad Keselowski's in 2012, and even that Keselowski just got really really hot in the playoff or the chase at that time. And, oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll be complete opposite to Elliott. I think he'll be one that probably suffers a bit more from this Penske as a whole, given their inconsistencies with their car. Of course, expect him, I think, to make the chase. Same with Blaney. But yeah, I wouldn't be expecting him to have the same amount of success he's had since the next gen was introduced in the playoff format era.
and I will say with Paul Wolf as the crew chief, it's going to be interesting to see how if he calls races differently now, from a strategic standpoint, because
Yeah,
he was always the contrarian. He was doing the different thing to try to gain track position and maybe steal a victory. So we'll see if Paul Wolf calls races a little bit differently.
100%, 100%. It'll be interesting.
And then we have Bubba Wallace. Everything stays the same except he's got Hardee's now as a sponsor. Everybody is super excited about that because that has some historic historic NASCAR ties with gosh, one of the legends. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it
Yeah,
is.
I'm not gonna have any idea. Did McDonald's go as a sponsor?
Yeah, McDonald's checked out of nowhere, I believe.
Similar to FedEx, M&M, all
Yep,
the big sponsors going.
yep.
Anyway,
Yeah, but that whole
what's your
conversation is for a different time. But
Yeah, that could be a very long one. What are your expectations for Bubba going into the season? I thought he showed some improvement last year.
he did show some improvement, and we absolutely saw him kind of really mature off the track, and be and he. I think last year was his first season as being a father off the track, and that absolutely changes the way that you approach things.
Yep.
You look back at Kyle Busch; he calmed down tremendously after having
Brexit.
yeah, and I think we're seeing the same thing with Bubba Wallace. Obviously, Bubba is nowhere near Kyle Busch. He will never be anywhere near Kyle Busch as far as talent wise, but
No.
maybe he gets a win somewhere. Maybe he doesn't. Definitely going to be one of those bubble drivers trying to bite, scratch, and claw for points when we get to the cutoff. I'm, but I think Bubba's going to be on the
Yeah.
outside looking in.
Yeah, I think everyone he's one of those drivers, right? That's good, but I don't think anyone ever sees him winning a championship. I'd expect him to win a race, maybe two. Definitely be in the top 16 in points, but yeah, I don't see anything more than that from Bubba, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and it could definitely happen. I mean, there's so many drivers, and well, how many chartered entries are there this year?
It's
Once again,
36.
36, 20 miss, 16 make it in. lot of people will be unhappy that they've missed out. And yeah, no, I could definitely see a situation where he does, doesn't quite build on last year's momentum and ends up missing the playoffs. Oh,
Then we got old
Chase,
William.
take a drink, everyone.
If I had one, I would. Now we got William Byron. He is the next man up. All Rudy Fugel. He is back on the box. The only difference is there's a new sponsor, Andrew. I'm not sure what that is, but hey, good for them. William Byron.
Good for them.
He is in the hall of one of my favorite drivers. So there might be a little bit of bias here, but he is my odds-on pick to win the championship. The chase format fits him so much better. He's got to be able to put truly a full season together. We have seen him disappear several times over the summer, then pick it up a little bit towards the chase if need be, or towards the in past years the playoff.
Yeah.
But he has the ability to flip that switch if need be. But I mean, if we were under the 36 race format, I don't know if you follow the Winston Cup standings on
Winston.
on X.
Yeah, I do.
But William Byron, he would already be a champion at this point if we were under that system.
Yeah, I think, as you say, he'll be one to benefit. Definitely be a championship contender. I don't know if he's not my favorite, I think, to win the championship this year. I've got someone else in mind we haven't discussed yet. But yeah, no, I think he will be in definitely pushing, top 10 easily.
I'm gonna I think I know who you're gonna be going for, but we'll see when we get there.
See?
Anyway, so we got Todd Gilliland. He is in the Front Row Motorsports number 34. You got the charter back after the lawsuit, and yeah, that's
Still
about
drives
it.
the car.
Yep.
Still drives the car, and that's yeah.
Then
Moving on.
Then we got the third entry from 2311. Well, technically the second of the list, but anyway,
Yeah.
Riley Herbst got that. That's all the same. This will probably be his swan song because you can't keep Corey Heim hidden that for very much longer. So
Some might say it's Heim time.
oh, it's been Heim time.
It's Heim time coming.
It's been Heim time for like 2 years at this point.
Yeah. Get him in that car.
How he's not in that car already is far beyond me.
I know. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't think Riley did he show much last year? He showed a little bit in Xfinity, now known as the O'Reilly Auto Parts, but I don't think he did anything last year that stood out to me as being, showing a lot of potential. So I think you just got to get Corey in that car as soon as possible.
I didn't realize he was a 2311 car until about halfway through the year.
Yeah, he was so anonymous. So anonymous.
Then
anyway,
Zane Smith in 38. Anything on that?
I think he looks like a nice guy. If you were to meet him on the street. Apart from that, not really, no.
All right. And then we got Cole Custer in the 41.
Yeah, Haas factory team. I got personally no expectations.
So
pretty low.
Actually, they are switching over from Ford to Chevy, and they are getting that alliance back with Hendrick. So I think we'll actually see a little bit of improvement. We'll see, I think we'll see a little bit of improvement. I think Cole Custer is more talented than what he's getting credit for. I think it's just
100%.
been. I think I mean, he's just he's just not in the greatest equipment, but he's got family ties there. So he's just kind of. It's one of those where nepotism here is biting you directly on the keister, because I think he's talented enough to be a be a Cup driver without a doubt, but
No, definitely.
he just doesn't have the equipment.
Yeah, I just me saying no expectations, more reflection. I've got no expectations for the Haas factory team equipment to be any good this year, even with a Hendrick alliance. Driver wise, I'd throw him in the bucket of a good NASCAR Cup Series driver. I think he's shown that in the Xfinity O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Take a
But
drink.
yeah, take a drink. But yeah, no, I think he's definitely a decent driver. He deserves to be in the Cup Series. He can definitely hold his own. Don't see him as a title contender if he was in the right equipment, but solid mid pack driver. But yeah, that Haas factory team equipment, I've got absolutely zero faith in being any good this year.
Then we got our first entry in the Legacy Motor Club in John Hunter Nemechek. And got a new sponsor of Rexel. Not sure what that is, but welcome to NASCAR, Rexel.
Welcome to NASCAR. You've got anything to add for him? They showed a bit of pace last year, both cars, and I think John Hunter did, but
they showed flashes, but I mean, their only shot at winning is Daytona and Talladega. I wouldn't even put them in contention at Atlanta.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd say definitely, unfortunately, I don't think troubling the playoffs this year. Chase this year.
I think well, we can tie them both together since they're back to back anyway. But yeah. I think Legacy's best shot at being competitive in the Cup Series, because I think Eric Jones is actually a very talented driver.
100%.
But I think their best bet is hopping onto that trying to hop onto that Dodge train, come working their way back up into the Cup Series or whatever other OEM might be in the works to make a debut in
Build
NASCAR
something from scratch. Yeah, I agree.
Because, like I said,
Yeah.
Eric Jones.
I'm a big Eric Jones fan.
If in the right equipment, he can absolutely go out there and win races. He has 100%. Won at the toughest oval to race at, that is Darlington, and he's done it twice. Or has he done it 3 times?
I would have to investigate while we keep going. But
I think it's twice, but it could be 3 times. But he
he's a 2-time Southern 500.
Okay. Now. Yeah, I mean, the talent's there. I think I think he just got put in a bad spot with JGR because Matt Kenseth was on the market. They threw out an offer to him. He said yeah, and it's like, oh well, you're not gonna get rid of.
Well before my time.
So yeah, he just got a bad break with JGR because you weren't gonna get rid of Kyle Busch at the time. Denny Hamlin was safe. You weren't gonna get rid of Carl Edwards, so Eric Jones just got the short end of the stick.
One out. But yeah, no, I think he's good. I think both. Eric is great. John Hunter, not quite as good, but I still think they're both great Cup drivers. So again, I think it's something that just comes down to the legacy equipment, and going with Dodge or whichever OEM's trying to enter would, I think, be a good place to really do something, because they switched from Chevy to Toyota recently, didn't they?
This would be their 2nd year in Toyota.
Yeah, and then of course Jimmy got involved a couple of years ago too.
Yep, and Jimmy.
So I think they just need some stability at some stage.
I think this is going to be the 2nd season where Jimmy has like full control of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then
I'm personally just hoping to see a bit of stability then. Hopefully they'll go back on the right path.
And then we have who I am going to assume here is your championship favorite. And that would be the 45 of Tyler Reddick in the race.
100% correct on that.
There you go. I do find that interesting. I think that is one hell of a dark horse. Tyler Reddick, he is a supremely talented driver, and he is absolutely a championship level driver. However, and last season was a very wonky given all the sport stuff going on. You can say, oh, but that's on the track and that doesn't affect him. Yeah, it does. when your charter
Yeah.
gets taken away, your your hind end kind of puckers a little bit because something goes wrong
So
in
it's going to affect
qualifying.
you.
Yeah, and definitely going to be affecting team morale because that entire season you don't know if you're coming back next year. But
Yep.
now that that's resolved, I definitely expect Tyler Reddick to be back into form, winning races. Could see him competing for a championship. Does he win it? I don't think so, but you know what? It's gonna
Yeah, I'm happy.
it's gonna be a good year for him.
I'm happy to put him down as a dark horse. Is it? I've just got not a feeling, but I think he's a good enough driver. I've got faith in the 2311 equipment. He was regular season champion, not last year, the year before, I think,
Yep.
if my memory serves me correct. So they've got the pace. He obviously had that outstanding pass in at Homestead to get himself into the championship four, not this year, but again the year before. So I think if they can get it together this year with the equipment, I think he's got the consistency and the skill to definitely be up there challenging.
Yeah, it was definitely a yeah. I think for 2311 in front row, I have to mark it as just a lost season just because of everything that was going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Tyler Reddick will definitely be back in the fray this upcoming season. And then we got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back in the number 47 in the Hayek Motorsports Chevy,
Hayek.
whatever that is.
Yep. No, not
With
much to add.
Chef Boyardee joining NASCAR on this car in a for 3 races. So
Yeah, not too much. Ricky, I think he's probably can drop the name Ricky Spinhouse now. I think he's a decent driver, Ricky. Got nothing more to add,
we'll,
but yeah. What about you?
we'll see. We'll see with the
We'll
desperation.
see.
How desperate
Yeah,
he
I
is.
mean, hopefully it should be toned down this year, given there's no longer a win in your end. But I guess we'll wait and find out.
We'll see. But
We'll see.
then we got the last Hendrick Motorsports entry and Alex Bowman. And yeah, this is the hottest seat in NASCAR, without a doubt. Alex Bowman has been has been way off the pace of his teammates. He hasn't seen victory lane since the Chicago Street Course. Uh, not last year, but the year before. He's run okay, but not Hendrick Motorsports okay. So, and I don't know how far down you look down the tunnel for drivers up and coming, but Corey Day
Yeah.
is going to be full time for Hendrick in the Xfinity Series or the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. I'm going to keep calling it the Xfinity Series. But he's but yeah, Corey Day, he comes from the Kyle Larson track, came up through dirt. Now he's in the Xfinity Series, and I can't stress this enough because I think it's very telling on how much Jeff Gordon, Mr. H, believes in Corey Day, that he is going to be in a Hendrick Chevy for for the O'Reilly series, not for Dale Jr. Hendrick's got their own entry this year, so
yeah.
I think Alex Bowman. I think this is going to be his final year in the 48.
Yeah, I'm not a big Bowman fan. Personally, I'm a big Bowman fan. In terms of what he's delivered in the car, I think it's been below expectations. And you're right with what's going on with Corey. So I would be very surprised if we saw Alex back next year, if Corey at least puts together a semi-decent season.
I mean, I think it's gonna. Corey Day's season is gonna go. I think is gonna go something a little like this. He's gonna start out slow, and then you're gonna see him slowly improve and get better and better, and you're gonna see him make a mad dash in the Xfinity chase. Well, the O'Reilly chase. and really
Yeah.
give some headaches to the JRM cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
I agree. I agree with that.
and then we got Rick Ware Racing's number 51, the Cody Ware. They are moving. They are switching back to Chevrolet, and yeah, that's and Cody Ware is
Yeah.
still related to Rick Ware.
Fun fact. Still related. Not much else to add. Not much else to add with that at all.
Then we got Ty Gibbs in the 54. He is back, and if his last name wasn't on the building, his seat would be even hotter than Alex Bowman's. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm really thrown off by Ty Gibbs and him pretty much disappearing since he got to the Cup Series. Now he's had some good runs at some of the road courses, but you can be you can be really good at the road courses, but you're never going to be as good as SVG at the road courses. So you got to find a different avenue to win a race because it's not going to happen at the road course. And
Yeah.
but I mean he took the Xfinity Series by storm. He dominated every single time he was in the seat, and is one full season in Xfinity, wins the championship, and then comes to the Cup Series, and he just completely and totally disappears.
Yeah. Just go on. No impact, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, if his name wasn't on the building, his seat would be super hot.
Yeah. No. Very much of the same opinion with you there, Dylan. I don't think he's really, in comparison, he's just such a downgrade on what KB was in the 18 compared to the Ty Gibbs in the 54. So we'll see if he can turn it around this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't.
I mean, it's go time. The average turnaround time for a rookie is about 2.5, 3 years, and we're on year 4 at this point. So
Yeah.
then we are on to Ryan Preece, who has all the same 37 sponsors that he has. that's
Yeah.
that's another discussion to be had. But
Yes, it is.
yeah, Roush, the Roush Fenway Kozlowski Ford.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I mean, he I mean, he got enough airtime at the plate tracks. I think he can fly first class down to Daytona this year.
Oh, yeah. Metaphorically and actually as well. His sponsors got a lot of airtime, and so did so did him.
Yeah, sponsors got a lot of
But
airtime,
yeah.
just not quite what they wanted airtime to mean.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm a Priest fan. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's probably, unfortunately, the worst, if that is not the greatest word to use. But I think he's got the lowest ceiling out of the three drivers there. But I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to pull off a race win this year.
I could absolutely see him pulling off a win at Richmond, New Hampshire, just tracks that he's more comfortable at.
Yeah.
He is obviously a supremely talented driver. He is a multiple-time Whelen champion. I would absolutely expect Ryan Preece to be winning a race this year. Definitely not going to be winning a championship, but I can absolutely see him making the chase.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And got anything to add on for Preece?
Nah, not really. I mean, I think his year was better than I expected it to be. It wasn't stand out though, but I think the limiting equipment at SHR really stunted all the drivers there. So I think he's been able to show a bit more of what he's capable of, and yeah, I'd be backing him to win a race this year.
Then we got a couple of Spire Motorsports. We got Michael McDowell in the 71. Everything stays the same there. Uh, and
Mm.
that's pretty much
Might as
what.
well chuck them together.
Yeah. Carson is someone that I think we got to sit down and talk about because there's a
Yeah,
lot more to talk
we'll
about
go
with him.
McDowell. We'll go McDowell first, then. I think, yeah. McDowell, uh, again, I think he's probably the middle driver there. He's got the most experience. Um,
He-
it really, for me, on him depends on the equipment he's given. He showed the pace at the Chicago road course this year, or last year, sorry. So he's definitely still got the speed in there, but see what he can do.
He's collecting a check. He was going to retire and then Spire threw a bunch of money in his face.
Yep. And
So,
there's nothing wrong with collecting a nice big check at the end of
hey,
near the twilight of your career.
I would have done the same thing.
Oh,
Wife,
I would have done the same thing too.
wife wants a beach house, and you know what? I'll race for a couple more years. But anyway, so
And then,
Carson Hocevar in the 77. Everything's staying the
yep,
same, but my God, is he polarizing? So
yeah,
I, I'm curious to see where you go on this because I think Carson Hocevar may be the most important personality in NASCAR today. He and not just with what he says, because you know he's being real and honest when he says it. When
yeah,
whether it's uh whether it's going on to Twitch and reaching a different fan base and
yeah.
calling Mexico City a crap hole, which
Yes.
he's not he's not entirely wrong. But
I can't. I mean, I've never been to Mexico,
I
but
I ain't been
yeah,
there. I ain't
everyone's
going
entitled to
there.
their own opinion. Everyone's
I ain't been
entitled to
there. I
their
ain't
own
going
opinion.
there. If I'm going abroad, then it's gonna be during the winter vortex, and get your guest bed ready.
Mm,
I don't know how many.
yeah,
I don't know how many more times I can handle this zero temperature.
zero temperature. No, it's fair enough, but yeah, Carson, I think he's great. Great personality for the sport. Um, outside of the actual racing, I think he's very important what he brings to NASCAR because he's reaching that younger audience. Um, but last year, I think he actually finished lower in the standings last year than he did in 2024. But I mean, you got to see the pace that was abundantly clear that he has. He was much quicker at certain races. He could really challenge up front. He just had so many, some of the most amount of DNFs, I think, in the Cup Series last year, some of which were his fault, a lot of which were mechanical issues. So
Yeah,
I'd expect big things from him.
yeah. And I think Spire was one of those teams that expanded to a third team as well. So you had that kind
Mm.
of spread of resources that just weren't quite available. So
Yeah, yeah.
I would expect Hocevar to be improved this year. Really hoping he gets that first win because that victory lane is going to be absolutely lit, and
Yes, it will be very good.
it will be very entertaining to see all the elderly, angry NASCAR fans just absolutely lose their mind.
Yeah, and being not that happy, but yeah, expecting big things from Carson this year. I think he's got the raw pace. He's just got to now put it all together.
And
Now that he's going into, I think, his fourth season now. So
I think so. You
it's
you also
getting
have
into the time where you gotta.
you also have to remember Hocevar has had to grow up into that seat because Spire took him
Mm,
so early. But yeah,
yeah,
I think we're gonna see
certainly.
some better things from him this year.
Saying that, he's still only 23. So he's got plenty of, it's his fourth year. He's only 23. He's still got plenty of time. But I think it's just, the incremental improvement you want to see each year, which I think he's definitely capable of doing.
Yeah, and then speaking of the young guns, we got the youngest and the biggest gun, Connor Zilich in the '88, making going on his maiden voyage. through the 36 race schedule that is the Cup Series. He has good old Red Bull as a sponsor, which
Yep.
which by I think by the laws of Formula One makes him my new favorite Cup Series driver.
Yeah, it's always cool when you see drivers with Red Bull sponsorships outside of Formula One and what they usually do.
And I will say when we'll kind of go back to the marketing part of this, but Red Bull coming into NASCAR last year, I think is really saying something about where NASCAR's headed. Because if Red Bull thought that this was going to be a, it was just going to be a money pit and have
Mm.
absolutely zero return, they wouldn't have done this. But
Yeah, 100%.
they, uh, they believe in Zilich. They, well, they've always been with SVG, so only
Yeah.
natural. But
Yeah.
and then Randall Brunette, he is the crew chief here. He is he's a tremendous crew chief. So Zilich has an absolute rock star of a crew chief to work with, and I don't know if he gets to victory lane this year. If he does, it's going to be at a road course.
Yep.
But I do absolutely believe he will make the chase this year as a rookie.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got the. To be honest, I actually wouldn't be surprised if he maybe, or saying that the O'Reilly Auto Parts cars and the Cup Series cars are quite far apart. But I wouldn't be surprised if he managed to run up near the front at ovals. Saying that though, yeah, he'll probably, if he wins, it'll be on a road course.
Yeah,
But yeah,
the ovals are going to be a little bit of a learning curve just because everybody in the Cup Series is just lights out at the ovals, but at the road courses that's where you're going to see Zilich shine. And
yeah,
I might add, Zilich is the only one last year to beat SVG straight up at a road course in
it's true.
the Xfinity Series.
In the Xfinity series. So yeah, no,
And
expecting big things. He's got a good crew chief. Don't want to put too much pressure on the young kid, but um, yeah, I think he's in a great position.
I mean, for crying out loud, he won a race with Dale Jr. on his pit box. Not a shot at Dale Jr., but Dale Jr. ain't no crew chief.
No, no. All right,
Then,
one more.
yep, SVG. Uh,
SVG.
Obviously going from the 88 to the 97. We have to see improvement from him on the ovals. We saw him kind of improve back half of the year, but I
Yeah,
mean it was his first full season. Uh, so I would expect him to be a lot more consistent at the ovals. And if he can turn those top 20s into top 15s, and then about halfway through the year turn those top 15s into top 10s, then we this might be a little bit more than just a marketing stunt. Oh,
yeah. He's someone I could definitely see making the I can see him making the chase this year. I think. Yeah, right. I think he did pick it up a little bit to the end of the year. You'd still want to see some improvement, but if he's able to consistently run, top running around the top 15 on ovals, I think he'll be able to put himself in a good position to make the top 16 points. Given I think his results on is it 4 road courses this year, or was it 5?
I believe it's
On the 4 or 5
four.
road courses.
I believe it's 4 road courses. They're running at Coda, the Glen, Sonoma, and San Diego.
Yeah, yeah, so I'd expect those he'd get good results all there, and then if he's managing to run near the top 15, I'd expect him to maybe just scrape through into the chase. But yeah, he's one of the ones that has been negatively affected by the format change. Of course, Trackhouse probably brought him in, hoping that no change would happen.
Yeah.
But he's adaptable. He's older, but he's got years of experience. I'm sure he'll be able to keep pushing his way to the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll end up figuring it out to the point where he can sneak his way into the chase. So,
Yeah. Agreed.
And so that is your 36 charter teams. That's your preview on them. And then obviously, as we hinted to a little bit earlier, we do have some news on the Charlotte Roval is going away. Thank
Yep.
God it is going away.
Yeah, I agree.
I
Good decision. Good decision.
and it's not so much that it was it was a bad race, but it wasn't going to be able to outperform what it was replacing. Much like the case that I was making for the Bristol Dirt. Was Bristol Dirt a cool event? Yes, absolutely. Is it better than what it was replacing? Eh,
Uh,
if Goodyear can get the tire right, then
but
Bristol
yeah,
is one of the best races of the year.
yeah. I mean, Charlotte wise, I just think the Oval produces such a good product. So why not, you know, have that product on display? It's not something like I don't think it's a major decision. If suddenly the road course racing becomes better, move it back to the move it back to the Roval. No one will complain if the road course, action's good enough. But I think given how much better the mile and a half racing is on this car than it is on the road courses, then I think it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I originally understood why they were like, let's give the Roval a try, just because at the time that they made the switch, the mile and a half tracks were just abysmal to watch. So I
Yeah,
get the attempt, but NASCAR's biggest thing is when they go on this, when they try to throw something at the wall to see if it sticks, they sit there and wait way past when it's dead. Like
yeah,
like with the playoff format, it was dead. It died when they said, "Oh, we're gonna have the final race in Phoenix." No,
yeah.
it it. And I'll even go as far as to say that if they would have kept the championship race at Homestead, we'd still be having the playoffs today.
Yeah, Homestead is a much better track than what Phoenix is for these cars and the racing.
Yeah, and like
100%.
you look back, nobody was complaining about the playoff format when it was Homestead because Homestead provided tremendous racing, and it
Yeah,
wasn't one that you could just sit there and prepare for over the course of a few weeks uh, because there's so many different grooves, the race can go so many different ways. It's always an exciting race.
yeah,
Whereas Phoenix is a 312 lap snooze fest.
yeah. Money talks in the end. Money talks.
Yep.
So
So
glad we got the finale back at Homestead, even though no
yeah,
longer the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, it's not going to be first of the line, but still a great way to end the year. But so
Yeah,
now, so we're. I think this is going to be the only channel where you're going to get this kind of different perspectives because you've never experienced in real time the chase. So
no, I haven't.
what kind of what are you how are you kind of picturing this on how this is going to go?
Yeah, so I was obviously I've only ever experienced the playoffs as we've been discussing, and I'm not a massive fan of it. I know the Australian V8 supercars moved to a playoff format last year, copying kind of what NASCAR had done, which is funny now that they've moved away from it. And I don't think it went down. The finale ended in the championship contender, who was almost set to win the race, getting taken out by his rival's teammate. Not deliberately, of course, but just he was trying to be very aggressive on the opening lap, and I think that left a sour taste. So where I'm going with that is, I think it's a good thing that they moved away from the playoffs. Not a fan of it. The chase, I can understand why they wouldn't go back to a full season points format. Would I have preferred a full season points format? Yeah, I think so. But I'm happy, everyone's going to have to be happy. And I think it's a decent compromise. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. Just because you're consistent in the regular season doesn't mean now that you're going to win the championship. You're still going to have to be able to perform in that final 10 race span. Perform well enough to get to the final 16. But then, it's all going to be crunch time still, but I like the larger sample size. So on the whole, I think it's a good change. Do
I,
you have
so
any thoughts and opinions?
it is absolutely a step in the right direction. Um, it's but you said the magic word that kind of irritates me a little bit. Compromise. W- who are we compromising with? Exactly. Who's like the fans? If they reject this, they're just going to turn it off. NASCAR has
Yeah.
NASCAR has been on a decline since 2008. 2008, I think it was 2008. It might have been 2006. It was either '06 or
Yeah.
'08. They had 20 million people tuning into the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Last year, it was about 8 million.
Yeah. Big fall.
And they're calling that a success.
Yeah.
Like people always say NASCAR died when Dale died. No, it did not. It still lived on for almost another decade. But then when they really started getting their hands into it, and they started doing the COT, the whole car tomorrow, which
Yeah.
was the ones that, as you put it, they don't look like NASCAR cars.
Yeah, there's the safety oriented ones. We like the safety aspect of the cars, but they didn't look like
And then
those cars.
and then you just had this progression of like, oh, NASCAR says, oh, let's try this, and the fans like, all right, we'll go with it, we'll give it a shot, and then the fans say, oh, this sucks, and then NASCAR will come back and be like, well, you said you were on board with it, well, now we've seen it and it sucks.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to what I was saying, like NASCAR throws stuff at the wall to see if it sticks, but they sit too long to see if it sticks. Like
Yeah.
it ain't gonna stick. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest gremlin they have left as far as that is the stages. If you want to give out points, okay, don't throw the caution.
100%, Dylan. I couldn't agree more with that opinion. If you want to throw out points for finishing, rewarding people throughout the race, 100%. But for me, the stage cautions are gimmicky, and it's probably my biggest, apart from the playoff format, which they've changed. It's probably my biggest gripe with the current NASCAR, rules.
Yeah, and I mean like so, and I can use this analogy with you because you also follow closely Formula One. What's the most
Yep.
exciting? What's one of the most exciting parts of F1? The
The
full,
strategy, the
full,
unknown.
yeah, the full race strategy. When you
Yeah.
have time, when you have cautions that you know are coming, with the Cup Series, now that strategy, there's only two strategies that you have. Is it
Yeah.
do you pit early and use that delta to make that time back up, or do you pit late and hope for the best, or do you split
Yeah.
the stage in half? Whereas in Formula One, is it a one stopper? Is it a two stopper? Is it a three stopper? Depending on the track. Where if you had the full race at the road courses, you have that those options are open to you. And
Yeah.
right now, it's just not. And it's also the same with with the rest of the tracks as well. It's just with a little bit different where you can kind of get away with it at the ovals, but yeah, I mean, I would still prefer the full race. If you want to hand out points on lap whatever, fine, but
Random laps. Yeah.
but don't throw the caution. I'd rather
I'm in
just
agreement.
I'd rather just go back to the days where we had that phantom caution with 15 to go. That random caution for debris.
For debris, even though there is not a single bit of debris on the track. But yeah, no, 100%.
Hey.
Yeah, it's. I think you've just turned it into 3 mini races, and it's not as enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I mean it. Nobody's gonna want to tune in until that third stage, if they tune in at all. Now, I will say it. It's well, I'll let you go because I'm gonna move to a little bit different of a topic.
No, you're all good.
So, and then one of the other gripes that I have with NASCAR, which doesn't really affect you very much, but it's the start times, especially when we get to the chase. The start times are absolutely horrific because it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Now, as even you might know, what is that really big thing in America that starts in the fall? Football.
So that's a good question. I'm not
Football.
Football. Yes, that makes sense. Fall, autumn. I'm not used to the fall terminology. Stumped me, but yes, autumn. Autumn. Yeah.
Yeah, we do things different here in America.
Spring. Is fall spring?
No, fall is.
No, fall might be spring. Fall is autumn.
Well, well, I guess it would be spring for you, but it's fall for us.
So it's what you guys would call autumn.
Yeah,
but it is in my spring. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting sidetracked.
The language barrier.
Language barrier. Goddamn.
But yeah. So the NFL, we'll just use Sundays because that's when most of the races are. On Sundays, NFL starts at 1 o'clock, and people are going to be tuning into that game. Usually.
Yeah.
And so the best way to try to at least kind of get a hold of that market is starting at noon. Start that hour early. See if you can pull some people in, because once they're into watching an NFL game, they're not going to be tuning it away unless it's an absolute blowout, which all that means is they're either going to flip it over to the other game that's going on, or if they got the red zone, flip it over to the red zone, or if they got the Sunday ticket, then they're watching whatever game they want to watch. You know what's not in that lineup? NASCAR.
Yeah.
So, and it's literally marketing for idiots 101. Get the jump early. Early bird gets the worm.
Yeah.
And TV is the same thing. You start at noon, get those fans in, get those people in, and obviously you're going to lose some at 1 o'clock, and that's fine. But you're going to get more than what you would if you start then rather you started at 2 or 3 o'clock. So
yeah,
that's probably the next big adventure that we got to start doing the battle cry on.
Yep. No. Well, for me, obviously, it doesn't impact the races. Sometimes I catch them like live. Other times, I'm usually just watching. I'm starting the race like maybe an hour or two after it starts. So timing doesn't impact me too much. But yeah, I mean, I think if you want to get the most audience, it makes sense to start it before the NFL, because most people, much easier for people to not change the channel than it is for them to change the channel. So you'd rather have them make that decision to swap to the NFL rather than having to swap to the NASCAR.
And then for Fox, and this is like marketing for real idiots 101. When you have NASCAR and IndyCar, don't have them running at the same freaking time.
Yeah.
Especially when the Cup race is in Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta. And then you have the IndyCar race in California. It is like what are you doing?
What's going on?
And
Yeah,
with
not good.
yeah, my gosh, it's like one of the dumbest things I've. And I mean, like it'd be one thing if it was like the CW, like trying to figure things out, and like they don't have all the channels to work with, and so they just gotta put together what they can. But this is Fox.
Yeah,
This is the largest broadcasting company on the planet, and they're making stupid mistakes
and
like that.
yeah, it's so silly.
What the hell? All right. You got anything else on that?
No, no, I think you covered it very well about what they should be doing with regards to their start times.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, you got anything else in the world of NASCAR to go off on?
Well, NASCAR, obviously Chevy had their only comment would be Chevy has their new body this year. I think we mentioned it briefly earlier, but uh, the other two, Ford and Toyota, brought new bodies in 23 or 24.
I
Might have
think
been 24 they
24.
bought. Yeah. So it's been a while. The Chevy body looks very aerodynamically, kind
Yeah,
of improved, I suppose. So it'll be interesting to see how that performs.
yeah. And well, if you want to go with the uh old rules of NASCAR, Chevy cannot even be in NASCAR anymore as far as those cars
Yes.
because they don't sell the cars
They
anymore.
don't make them. No,
Uh,
they don't. They just updated the body kit.
It, and that's one thing with NASCAR that I kind of, or well, with Chevy that I kind of have a gripe with on the marketing side, because especially for this year, you have Cadillac in Formula One.
Yeah.
How absolutely incredible would it be for GM to have a Cadillac ATS in the Cup Series the same year you're having a Cadillac Formula One team, both making
Yeah.
their debuts?
It'd be cool. It's a pity they're not doing it.
And imagine the marketing if, like, let's say in the season opener in Australia, just absolute crap hits the fan, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, you got Checo emerging from the smoke with the lead, and he goes on to win the dang thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it, it may be a long shot, but the odds aren't zero.
No, yeah, anything can happen in motorsport, but yeah. Should definitely have picked a car that people can buy as to represent. But
Yeah, but at least with Chevy, I can also see the other side. Like Cadillac's kind of like the fancy pinky up tea drinking class.
yes.
So, and you're trying to market to rednecks. So, I
Yeah,
can
it's not gonna
I
hit the
I
same.
can see why they did that too. So, but all right, all
All
right. So,
right.
I think we got everything covered. Tell
I
them where to
think
tell the fine people where they can find you.
yeah. So I've got Instagram, Twitter, not well, Instagram. I do have an X account, but I'm mainly YouTube, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and mainly on TikTok. You can go follow me at First Thoughts or F1 RST, and then Thoughts, all one word. Thank you very much, Dylan, for having me on to the channel. I very much appreciate it. Love to sit down and chat NASCAR with you. It's obviously a bit difficult for us because of our different time zones, but it was good to get a good opportunity and just discuss the upcoming season. I think we really got to delve into all the drivers, look at all the major changes coming into the season and really put together some good analysis for the year.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. Always fun to talk with somebody on that's come from a different stage of life and in NASCAR and on the other side of the
Yeah.
planet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, but no, it's been really good, and I will just add, whilst my name does say F1 First Thoughts, as Dylan mentioned earlier, I do also cover the NASCAR race that happens. Not don't cover NASCAR as much as I cover Formula One, but I like to at least get a video out there just discussing the race.
so all right. Make sure to like the video, subscribe
All
to the
right.
channel so you don't miss any football, racing, and we'll definitely be working on that true crime video that is absolutely coming because uh, things have been popping off in Idaho, and that's something that we gotta get to discussing because it's absolutely insane what's going on there. But all right, until next time, see you later.